The Kamala Harris fundraising juggernaut continues. And Donald Trump is still creepy and weird. Welcome to MOMocrats Mama Chat, part of the Demcast family of podcasts. I'm Donna Schwartz Mills with Karoli and Aliza Worthington of crooksandliars.com. And the good news, Kamala Harris is the nominee. Yay!
Confetti is falling. Imaginary confetti is falling. Confetti.
Thanks, Rachel. My sister sent me this shirt.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, I'm still using my my Dark Brandon swag.
Yeah.
Well, he's still Dark Brandon.
Dark Brandon did the darkest Brandon thing. What a badass.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all that time while they were telling him that he needs to resign and that drumbeat was happening and he's too old to get things done. And where is he, even though he had COVID? He was busy working on this prisoner swap
release. Yeah.
that happened yesterday. You know, and like one of the biggest, nastiest members of the media just ragging on him was the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah. I mean, they were literally like calling for him to step down. They were, you know, where's this old decrepit Biden? I put something on Threads yesterday about how, you know, Rupert Murdoch should have to apologize to Biden because while he was, you know, while they were shitting on him, he was getting their reporter back.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like, whatever. I mean, that was amazing. I mean, it wasn't just that reporter. It was Paul Whelan. It was all these other people.
Whelan, after all these
years.
I loved Biden's response when they asked him, you know,
yes,
about what was it, about whether, you know, Trump
had said he could get them back.
Right.
Without having to give
he said he could get
up.
them back with a better deal or something, and Biden just shoots
without
back.
even he said he could get them back without even having to give up anything.
Right. And never mind that, you know, he got 2 people released, but had to give them 200 Houthis. You know, one of the Trump deals.
Hello, how about 5,000 Taliban fighters?
Khashoggi's family might like a word.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Right. I mean, everything out of Trump's mouth is a lie, including that Kamala Harris isn't black, only just became black.
I mean, that's just weird and creepy. I don't know how else to say it. And you know, she is so good at this. So when she gave her speech right after all of that shit hit the fan, we can go back and talk about that shit hitting the fan. But after that, she just basically said the American people deserve better. And you know what? She's right. We do deserve better than this nasty old bigot who wants to use, you know, race divisions to try and win an election.
Yep.
And then goes to the National Association of Black Journalists. And, you know, he's asked a reasonable question right off the bat, and he tells, and I forget what, she was an ABC reporter, right? Rachel Scott. He tells Rachel Scott that he's never had such a nasty question.
I mean, the question was a reasonable one, too.
It was a very reasonable question.
You've done all these things. Why should we believe that, you know, like... Right. You when you say that
there's not a word that she said. There's not a a thing that she spoke that wasn't a fact.
Yeah,
a verifiable fact.
Right, and then he couldn't stop going back to her. It was like every other question he'd be like, "Well, at least it's not like this nasty woman over here," you know, and everything, which is just so him. And the thing is that I don't really want to take the focus off of Kamala Harris over this because that was exactly what the media almost got sucked into. I heard a couple of people on MSNBC saying, "No, don't do that. Don't go there. Right. That's what he wants." But other than that, you know, it seems like the media was just all ready to go back to, you know, oh look what he's doing again. Yeah, it's like their happy space or something. Oh, I know this space. I feel better in this one than I do being like covering Kamala Harris and how good she is and what a great politician she is and how
Yeah.
she was part of getting this whole hostage deal done. I mean, on the one hand, you had the German chancellor saying to Joe Biden, I'm going to do this for you, Joe.
For you, because we have a relationship.
Right? And then the Slovenian president, was it? I guess Kamala Harris met with him and explained why they needed him to do what he had to do, and he ended up doing it. So I mean, she basically closed that part of the deal too.
Right.
So I mean, without Joe Biden and Kamala Harris doing what they did, that this wouldn't have been
Those
done.
Americans would still be in that
I know.
terrible prison.
In prison.
The heartbreaking. I'm sorry.
I said imprisoned in Russia.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and they did get Vladimir Kurzamur.
Yeah.
Karamurza.
It's
Karamurza.
Yeah.
You know, but I just wonder if the timing of Navalny's murder had to do with this deal, because they just didn't want him out.
So I heard some reporting to that effect, that and it was in the context of doing the whole deal. Mm-hmm. They basically had to scrap the one that they had in February and go back and do it again. And even then there was no guarantee this deal was going to get done. It wasn't until Biden basically stepped back after he was on the phone, and then an hour later he said, I'm not going to run for my second term. And at that point, then Putin didn't have any incentive not to do the deal, because it was him holding back or preventing it from happening was to benefit Trump against Biden. When Biden was no longer the opponent for Trump, it didn't make sense for Putin to step on it any farther. So, I mean, there's like a whole lot of moving parts. And when they say this was the most complex deal that's ever been done, they are not lying.
Because if you see the look on my face.
I know. I do see the look on your face.
I'm trying to do the math. Because when was Navalny killed?
He was in February.
That was over the winter, right?
Yeah.
So this deal was in play back then.
Oh, over a year, like 2 years ago, they've been working on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
and it was set for it was possibly greenlit in February.
I don't know if it was greenlit, but originally the original deal that they had was to include Navalny.
Included Navalny.
And when Navalny was killed, then obviously that deal went to hell in a handbasket, and they had to start all over again.
Got it. Okay.
So
because nobody believes Navalny died of natural causes.
Right.
Oh, he didn't.
Of course not.
Of course he didn't.
Of course not. He was murdered.
Yeah.
But
and there's no equivocation about that I've heard from our government.
Right.
And,
right.
That's okay. So, but it was something, wasn't it, to see them come home?
Yeah.
It was something.
Yeah. The only person who's negative about it is Donald Trump.
Right. And that's because he didn't do it.
And his acolytes, who was that reporter who in the green dress who asked him in that weirdly over animated, hyper dramatic fashion about what Trump had said and what would his response be? Who was that person? Does anybody know?
I don't.
Because
I don't.
She's annoying as fuck. I don't even know.
I could probably figure it out from.
Could you figure it out for me, please? Because I really would like to just. I don't know what I would do.
Yeah.
Send her, put a hex on her house or something. I don't know. It just really irritates me.
Whammy.
Huh?
There are still other Americans being held.
Yeah.
And again, Biden was asked, what he's going to do about them. And he's like, well, if I told you now,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to get it done.
Right.
You know?
Idiots.
That whole scene was so annoying to me. It's
Isn't
like,
it?
but
It's
what
like, do they
about, but what
really not
about,
know how it works? Do they really have no concept?
I don't know,
Well,
but
let me sit down and
beyond
let me
that,
tell
I
you
mean,
about the machinations, the back, the backroom deals I got going with the diplomats. Let's,
well,
it's
I
just,
mean, beyond that, it was to me, it was like a kid getting what he asked for Christmas and then wanting more,
Right.
right? With like utter, like, no, with not even missing a step, no gratitude, no nothing, just, well, what about this? It's like, and there's other issues with this, the person that they mentioned, because that person is not actually considered to be in the same category as the hostages that they got out. That person actually did do some shit they shouldn't have done.
He had medicinal marijuana, which
Yeah,
is the same thing they got Brittany Griner on.
right. But there is no medicinal marijuana law in Russia, and people,
Right.
I mean, I don't know. The State Department has like a big, if you go to their website, they have like a big red warning: do not go to Russia. Americans are not advised to go to Russia. Don't go there.
Yeah.
And people go, and then they go and break the law even, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, whoops. Now
You've
get
got
me
that,
out.
you've got that
now they're
woman
stuck in
who
prison.
went there to visit her family, and she got arrested because she gave $50 to a Ukrainian,
Right.
pro-Ukrainian group.
Right.
Mm.
And
She,
that one I actually understand more, because she had family there, and I
yeah.
understand that the being having ties to family and everything. I kind of get that. But people who just like, oh, I'm going to Russia now. What the actual
Wasn't
Well,
he
why would you
teaching?
go to Russia
hell?
now if you didn't have a
Yeah,
compelling reason to do so? Like
exactly.
like family members, or somebody you loved was on death's door or something,
Right? I mean,
you know,
why would you
so,
go there of all places? It makes no freaking sense to me at all. Like, I mean, it's like the same as going to North Korea. Why would you go there either? I mean, not that you can. I mean, that's the thing. You can go to
right.
Russia. You can't go to North Korea. They won't let you in. But yeah, so but just the feat of diplomacy that this was is so
Yeah.
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, I could understand why Jake Sullivan almost broke down during the press conference
Oh my
yesterday.
goodness. Yeah.
Because he had to have been working on this so hard and had so much of his heart in it. And while Antony Blinken is trying to keep the Middle East from blowing up, Jake Sullivan's over here doing like amazing diplomacy things. I cannot wait until like the time expires in the archives for us to be able to read like the emails and stuff. I mean, it'd probably be after my lifetime, but
Oh my God. Well,
there
that's my
must have
question:
been,
is how long? What is it? 20 years that they can?
I don't
What was
know.
the?
I mean, sure,
I
it'll be
think it's
classified
longer.
for a long time, but
Yeah, it's
I
longer.
believe
We won't get to read it.
there is
It's
a
longer.
whole book there, a
Yeah.
whole book, a whole story
Yeah.
right there about what happened. And I just like to tell the pod save guys, you can all fuck off, because this was Biden being Biden,
Yeah.
right? Being
What have
skilled.
they said about it? What did they?
I mean, they're just, like,
Are
he's
they just
old, he's
downplaying it?
infected. Yeah. Well, I don't know if they're downplaying this, but I mean, they've been one of the leaders of the pack when it comes to talking about how he's old and ineffective and, doesn't have any energy and blah, blah, blah.
Well,
I'll take the guy that moves really slow and stutters, but has the ability to get this shit done.
He doesn't even
And
move that slow. I mean, like,
who
did you see
has
this
the,
video of him like at the on the tarmac yesterday?
yeah.
When
he
last
was
night?
very happy to
Well,
have
he
that
wasn't just happy, but
with
like reporters
everybody.
had called him over, and he like jogged over. He's wearing
Yeah.
his, and he just like jogged. Like I mean, maybe it was adrenaline from happiness, but he was moving just fine. He's just got over
Well,
COVID.
I mean, I still have deep feelings about how he was shoved out, but I am so grateful that our nominee is Kamala,
Yes.
and she's amazing. She's
Nobody else
amazing.
would be able to carry the party so quickly would be able to coalesce
It's
so many
been
people around her.
12 days.
12 days.
12
That's it?
days. She raised $300 million in 12 days.
310 million, just
Yeah,
to put
or
fine
rather,
point on it.
we coalesced and helped her raise.
Yeah.
And it has a lot. I'm sorry, I keep going back to what a disservice our media has done for us, because
And
the
continues to
doom
do.
and gloom, the drumbeat, the fact that all anybody heard about Joe Biden was he's old.
Right.
That's all you heard. And it depressed people, and it made people feel hopeless, and
Yeah.
it made people feel that a Trump win was inevitable. And
Right.
then you have that Atlantic article where they are planning to have a landslide, and they're going to take, both houses of Congress, and excuse me, you know, I will forever be angry at the media for not covering the successes of this administration. I was telling Karoli before we went on that I was flashing on the 80s, when Reagan was president, and Reagan was a much less capable person
Yeah.
than Joe Biden. But they liked the way he communicated. They loved him. Young people loved him. He was like a grandpa. That's how he was portrayed. And, Karoli and I didn't love him, but,
No.
people loved him.
Mhm.
And they never treated him the way our media has been treating Joe.
Never. And he was more deserving of it than Joe Biden was.
Yes.
And the other thing about this, I know we've ranted about this before, but I just can't help doing it again. Joe Biden, as I said before, was shit on by the Wall Street Journal. It was one of the loudest, drum bangers during all that. Well, he's trying to get their reporter back. He gets their reporter back. And what is their article the next day? It says, thank you to the U.S. government. No, thank you
Doesn't
to Joe
even
Biden.
mention
No, thank you
Kamala
to
Harris
Kamala
or Joe Biden by name.
Right.
Awesome. Just awesome. God, I hate them.
I know, right? I just yes, that. I mean, it's just too much.
I will say this. Today in the Bulwark, Jonathan Last proclaimed Joe Biden the greatest living president of all, just the greatest living president.
That's something.
Wow.
He devoted 3 paragraphs to the greatness of Joe Biden today.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, the Pod Save America guys
can go fuck themselves.
Right. But, all right, Jonathan Last.
Yeah.
All right.
That's great. I mean, I'm glad that they recognize, that he is. I think he is too. I mean, I feel like
I do too.
He's the guy in 4 years. And I guess if I'm him, and like the one consolation to not having another 4 years is all the things that he's done to launch the next generation, right? Like the credit, the generosity of credit that he gave to Kamala Harris for this deal, for all the, for endorsing her immediately and not letting the Democrats, start fighting with each other.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah. But uniting the party behind her and everything he's done since, I mean, I feel like his image should go on Mount Rushmore.
out of the transition.
Yeah. I mean, he's been amazing, and he's been like that all 4 years. I mean, he's just kept his nose down, done the work.
Quiet competence.
And that's why, by the way, that's why the media hates him.
Right. Because the drama.
I think this is all payback for the Pentagon Papers. And for Nixon and everything since, like they treated Carter like shit. They treated Clinton like shit. They treat the media. I mean, the media did. They portrayed Carter, who was is still a brilliant kind-hearted,
Yeah, they beat him
genius,
up really badly.
forward-thinking, visionary.
Yeah, don't get me started on Carter and
And
what they did
that's
to
even
him.
with Carter.
Yeah, no, I remember.
And it was right. I mean, as soon as
there was no
Carter
honeymoon for
beat
Carter.
Ford.
There was no
Not like I was reading newspapers back then. I was 6. But I mean, I remember how they portrayed him. I do remember because I was watching the news since Watergate.
Yeah.
I remember that because we only had one TV. And I was allowed to watch TV after dinner, and they broadcast those hearings. That was primetime TV. It was big drama.
It was.
And I knew something big was happening. So I remember when Carter was elected, because it was the bicentennial of the nation. I remember all this stuff. Right. I remember. I do remember
graduation year.
I was 20. I turned 20.
Yeah. So this is stuff I remember, and I remember them, being, hearing on the news what a bumpkin Carter was.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't learn till I was an adult, till I was well into my adult years, like maybe in my 30s, probably. What a freaking genius he was, what a scientific genius, what a genius in, a naval genius and, engineering genius and the solar panels and everything, how forward thinking he was. So like you go all the way back. Why is the media so mad at the Democrats? I mean, has it been a Republican institution all along?
Well, I think there might be elements of that, but I also think that there is just less drama. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, my mother would say to me, Republicans mess everything up and then Democrats have to fix it.
Yeah.
Right. And media doesn't want to cover the fixing. They want to cover the breaking.
They want the narrative, the drama, the thing that the story they like to tell.
Right.
Has drama. And just quietly doing good things for people and everything working like it should. There's no drama in that.
Right. There's nothing there for them that they can. Sorry, hold on.
No good hook. And you're a writer, you know that you want to appeal to people's emotions.
Right, but and so I guess bringing it full circle back around to Kamala again, I do feel like this campaign gets that the same way that Obama's campaign in 2008 got that. And so what they're looking for and what they're sparking in people and this is I think why it's catching fire so rapidly is that people are tired of being pissed off all the time. They're tired of it's similar to how we felt after when Bush was president and we had all these wars and we were pissed all the time about everything he was doing. And then there was this financial meltdown under his watch. And, so now we were pissed and broke and didn't have a job. And Obama said, you know what? I'm bringing hope, right? I'm bringing hope. And I feel like that's what Kamala, Biden totally deserves to have a second term. But if he can't have one because of the media and because of the self-fulfilling prophecy that they created, then this is the best way to slap them back, right? Is to say, we have a candidate that we believe in that's sparking all of this just organic.
And don't forget, 2 weeks ago, they were salivating at the idea of the Democrats having a mini primary. And, here we were fighting amongst ourselves as it is, because those of us who were recognizing that Biden did not deserve to be treated like this versus those who were saying, we're going to lose, we got to get rid of him. And and they loved that. That was drama. That was the drama. The Democrats are back in disarray where they belong. And
it's true.
And then Joe Biden does the brilliant thing, and we didn't even know that he was working on this prisoner swap. He does this brilliant thing where he waits until after the Sunday shows wrapped and all
Right.
the pundits went home for the weekend.
Talk about
And
media savvy. I mean,
then he does his announcement, and nobody has time to do anything. And then half an hour later, he endorses Kamala. And then
he does it
for
in writing
Vance,
too. He does it in a letter. He doesn't
yes,
even like go make an announcement to, well, not like there. I mean,
he wasn't
he could
doing
assemble
that.
reporters at the drop of a hat, but he didn't.
No,
He
no.
just put something out in writing.
And then what happened after that is the part that really took them all by surprise, because we coalesced.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of us, as they are saying online, we understand the assignment.
Mm-hmm.
And the assignment is we do not let that orange turd anywhere near the White House again.
Right.
And the way to accomplish that is to coalesce.
Yeah.
The way to accomplish that is not to.
Well, and then there's these organic, affinity groups that spring out from the first one, which was the Black women, call for Kamala, and then the Black men, and then the white women, and then this week was the white men call, and
which is the one that's getting all the attention.
It's getting a lot of attention, but it's good attention. It's like, because I at least I was not on it. I know that a lot of people were, but one of the things that I thought was interesting was how many Black women were saying, a lot of what they're saying right now is healing. It's affirming. And that's something that, regardless,
because we were holding ourselves accountable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For our past failures, which are not that we actually had time to do that, because our past failures are so many and so deep. But we were saying we can't do this again. We can't allow 53% of us, we're the ones who gave us Trump, and we can't do that again. And we have to talk to other white people and make sure we have to stop being so fragile, and we have to stop being so easily offended. We were just calling ourselves in and holding ourselves accountable and saying, and the Black women that I saw on Twitter who had been, following along, said they were, happily surprised by that attitude, and that if we follow through on that, that will be a meaningful step toward healing. But we have to follow through on it. We're not done. We can't coast by on this good, happy mood. There's a lot of hard work to be done. We can't do what we did with Obama and say, oh, well, we elected a Black president, racism is done. We can't do that. We can't say, I would have voted for Obama a third time. How can you say I'm racist? No, you grew up in America in a racist society, a white person. So you have there are vestiges of racism in you, period. You got to find them and root them out, however they manifest. And, that's just something every white person in America needs to do. And, so they did find that affirming, as from the women that I follow and interact with, who are Black on Twitter and elsewhere. It was nice to see. So
it was nice to see, and it was nice to see. So from my standpoint, like I said, I didn't lurk on it or wasn't on it at all. But from the reactions that I saw, I felt like I felt better about 2016, I guess, and where we're coming, because it's not only race, it's gender.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like maybe they learned that too, and so that's good. But what I read that I thought was interesting was how many of them were actually very vulnerable in what they were talking about. They were talking about,
who are we talking about now?
These white men.
Dudes.
The white men. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they weren't being all macho and, and manly about things. They were actually being very vulnerable with each other. And I mean, I think that's great. I think that it's great to have affinity groups, as long as we all come together, we don't fight with each other, and get the job done. That's the goal. The goal is to
And the goal is not just Kamala
right.
in the White House. You know, today on MSNBC, I heard some pundit, say that, we're going to lose the Senate. And we
Oh,
don't know
bullshit.
that. It was one of the Republican pundits,
Oh,
but
well,
we
duh.
don't know
Okay.
that. We don't know that,
You don't know that.
We
Actually,
don't
I
know
think we have a
who's in it.
solid chance to have pickups in the Senate.
I do
Hello,
too.
Katrina Christensen,
Yes.
I
right?
do too. I
Yes.
do too. And I am excited to see whoever her vice presidential pick will be. I am going to be happy with whoever it is because I know that she will pick someone who she can work with. I know everybody's got a favorite,
Tim Waltz, Tim
but
Waltz, Tim Waltz.
but you know what? That list is full of solid, capable, good politicians,
No,
right?
I agree. I don't disagree with you. And certainly a VP pick would not diminish my enthusiasm
The
or
important thing is that they mesh
right.
and that they can run the best campaign possible.
Do you guys remember the Veep stakes in 2008? Right, when after there had been this horrible
Yes. Oh
acrimonious
God, yes.
split
Between Obama and
between the
Hillary.
Hillary and Obama people. And I mean, it had gone like they had this huge meeting in Washington, D.C. over the Michigan and Florida delegates, and it was crazy.
I don't
And
remember.
and then all the speculation was that he was going to pick her for VP,
I
that
remember.
and everything, and that was the only choice he could make according to all the pundits. There was no other choice to make. So
Huh.
then he picks Biden,
And Biden was a
right? And
perfect
Biden was great,
VP.
and Hillary was great as Secretary of
Yeah,
State. So I mean, that's what
it
it's
was
like.
good.
You all have to just kind of
You have
chill
to
and
trust the
I
leader,
mean, I'm totally all in for Tim Walz. I would definitely do somersaults, but if it's somebody else, I will still do somersaults.
right?
So
Yeah.
Right. Because, we understand the assignment.
yeah,
We can
exactly.
do this.
We understand the assignment, and I just think and next week is going to be so much fun, you guys, because she's going to be on the campaign trail in the swing states with him,
Whoever she
whoever
picks.
that is. I think they're
Whoever
all men, so I don't
they
think
are, they are all
yeah,
men,
so
which
I can
makes
say
sense.
him and be confident about that. So
And apparently they have all they've
canceled their
all
plans.
canceled their plans, and maybe they will all show up together on the weekend when she makes the announcement. Gives whoever it is the rose.
Yeah, right.
Well,
But
I've
the
canceled
cool
my
thing
plans
about
this
that
weekend too,
is,
so I don't know what.
well, the cool thing about that gathering, basically, like somebody said, I read, what's the deal with the VP cattle call? Here's the thing, right? By keeping everybody in the dark and having these 5 dudes, right, who all of whom have great capabilities and everything, a few things happen. But one of the best things is that it forces the Trump campaign to spend money to get ready to have Oppo on every single one of them, and they won't know
Yeah.
who it's going to
Yep.
be
Yep.
until then. So they have to spend money. They won't be able to do ads. They won't be, able to do all those things until that day comes when she reveals her pick. And
It also
so,
creates the narrative that the media wants
right,
that will have them cover it. So,
right. It feeds
Trump
that
So
needs
part
when
of
is
it.
the announcement supposed to be? Is it Tuesday?
Well, Tuesday is when her rally in Philadelphia is with whoever
right.
the VP is. My suspicion is that we will hear Sunday afternoon after the Sunday shows are over. I could be wrong about that, but that's just kind of, I feel like that's kind of an irony that would be interesting
That would be some pretty nice symmetry.
yeah. So,
Exactly 2 weeks.
right. Exactly. And then they'll be campaigning together in all these swing states, and I'm so excited because her speeches have been amazing.
Just on fire.
Just utter fire. Yeah. I mean, I still replay the say it to my face that if he wants to say something, he can say it to my face. I feel like all the rage I have at him was just channeled into that
Mm-hmm.
one thing, and played over and over again in my head. Yeah, you dude, you go say it to her face. Go ahead, I'll
And
have her
he's
back.
being such a, I mean, he is cowering. He is just cowering. He's not even acting like defiant when he says, "Well, I don't need to debate her. Everybody knows me, everybody knows her, or whatever." He's not even acting. He's acting scared.
He is
He's
scared.
acting like he's acting defeated.
Well, you know what? He's had a lot of experience now with black female prosecutors.
Yeah,
Right,
I
and
think
none of
he's
it's been
really
good
like. I really do believe he's
for him.
intimidated. I
I
mean,
mean,
that's true. But
the I the idea of her prosecuting him across all those swing states and across the country is just delicious. It's
It
honestly
is.
just fucking delicious.
Especially with what the Washington Post reported today.
Oh
let's
yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah, shall we?
I mean, I don't think we will ever get the full picture of Donald Trump's criminality or the way his crimes were abetted by Bill Barr.
And the worst part of this, so it seems clear from the money trail that he took $10 million and
From
put it
the
into his campaign,
Egyptians. From
from
the
the
Egyptians,
Egyptians, and
which
put it
is
into his
illegal.
campaign. Oh, totally.
Put it into his campaign, right? Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
And put it into his campaign, and then did him a favor. I don't know, invited the prime minister, like one of the first invitees or whatever. But so all these things are going through my head, like
So that's
this is
illegal, right?
illegal. Anybody else, like they tried to nail Hillary for somebody from Canada buying one of her t-shirts, just to give
Yeah.
you an idea. That was James O'Keefe that did that. So this is so fully illegal, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
And there was a big, robust investigation into it, and Bill Barr stepped on it. And guess what? Now the statute of limitations has run out.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So it's
So it can't even be prosecuted, which is when I wanted to throw something through the window.
Mhm.
It's like, what on
like
earth?
Bill Barr.
Yeah, start with him.
Yeah, throw him out the window.
I mean, it's just so, and this is not the only one that this.
No, that's what I mean.
Oh, I mean,
We
how
will
many that
never
we don't even know
know.
about?
We
Yeah.
will never know everything.
But of course, I'm sure that he just considered it a gratuity, because Supreme Court. As long as
And
it's
now,
after the fact.
now,
Yeah. Well, exactly. But I mean, that's when it's like they've made it legal to be, to take
again,
bribes.
Pay for
we,
play.
we
Yeah.
need a Democratic House. We need a Democratic Senate
Right,
because
because
we
I mean,
need.
it wasn't on our notes for a rundown today, but or was it? The Supreme Court reforms that.
We did not mention those today because that's just
I mean,
every
I
week.
know it's just kind of speculation, but it is.
Well, it's that. But then, did you see the article about there was new leaks out of the Supreme Court about
Yes.
the decision, the Idaho decision that
No, I didn't see.
so the original vote on that was 6-3, right, to deny that EMTALA applied to
Okay.
so that the abortion ban would have been held, and Alito was supposed to write the opinion, and then didn't, because two of the justices defected, two of the conservative, Amy Coney Barrett and Brett Kavanaugh, of all people.
You actually ended up with 3 factions of 3
Right.
on the
Okay.
Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Like they're a mess.
Yeah.
You know,
They are a mess. I mean, the thing that you take away from this is, one, you're going to get more leaks like this out of the
Yes.
Yeah.
Supreme Court.
Uh-huh.
And two, they really hate each other.
Yeah, they really. This group really dislikes each other.
Well, these
Yeah.
last 3 appointees that were stolen,
Right.
they they were not of the caliber of legal mind
Right.
that they should be. Maybe
I would
Amy
say,
Coney Barrett,
I
because
was
she
going
was
to
a
say,
law
I think Amy
professor.
Coney Barrett might be, but the
She
other
might,
two,
but Kavanaugh and
Kavanaugh and Gorsuch.
Gorsuch,
no, not so much.
no.
Yeah. So, and then you have, Alito, who, like, the other leaks are out of there, is that he's frustrated and he wants to retire, but he won't retire unless Trump's
Yeah.
reelected,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. And, and so you think about these Supreme Court reforms, you think about, some term limits, although I still think term limits aren't doable without a constitutional amendment.
They're not.
That's my problem.
That's the
And I
problem.
don't like the idea of term limits either
I,
myself.
I,
But
I mean, I would prefer expanding the court and having a rotation where
Yeah.
you have, so that the older justices do what the lower courts do, where they just kind of rotate out, but they're there to come back in if you need them to, like if somebody recuses or something.
Well, I mean, expanding the court is the most practical way to get reform quickly.
Right.
right.
And I think that Kamala Harris actually also supports that. I think what Biden put out was the minimal reforms.
Right.
Right. Like he's saying, look, these are the ones that I think are going to work. And Congress, if you want to do something more than that and you think you can get it done, I'll sign it. I mean, that's kind of how I feel.
Right.
Like,
but the ones that he thinks are, have the best chance maybe of getting,
But these reforms can't be done without a constitutional amendment either. So they're not going to get done.
Well, that's not true.
I don't think so.
The ethics and the
ethics, yes.
I mean, the term limits, but expanding the court,
right.
You can do without a constitutional
exactly.
amendment.
But he didn't. Right. He did not support.
He didn't recommend that, but that doesn't. I mean, if you could actually get a house, like say on January 6th or 7th of this year, or next year, excuse me, you got the House and the Senate to pass such a thing. Do you think he would not sign it? Of course he would sign it.
He would sign that. Of course. It's just,
He's just saying, these are the things I think we can do. And Chuck Schumer did introduce a bill to the No Kings Act.
Yeah.
So, that's out there. And it's, if nothing else, it's something for us to organize around, right? I mean, Republicans didn't get
this election matters.
Right.
It is so important. I mean, this is a hinge election.
Yes.
Because we are either going to lose our democracy
or we're going to make it better.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And those are the stakes. And we need to make sure everyone understands that every voter.
I agree. I mean, one of the most encouraging things to me has been that people that I've known all my life I have almost never agreed with on politics, but we're still friends because I've known them forever and everything, are actually like excited about Kamala. Like excited. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
That is great.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of that energy out there, and there's more to harness and get going, but we're definitely moving in the right direction. And thank you, Joe Biden, for making that possible.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe Biden.
Cheers. Dark Brandon. So are you guys watching the Olympics?
Bits and pieces.
When I can, yeah. It's pretty incredible.
I know. I'm so excited about Simone Biles and winning. And I mean, especially because she was so trashed by the right wing in 2020 when she dropped out.
Yeah,
I mean, they called her a loser. They called her a quitter. They called her all these things.
I'd like to see them do a triple Yurchenko or whatever.
Right, say it to her face.
13 feet in the air from a running start. Yeah, go for it.
14, excuse me, 14.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
so,
and and like I said, say it to her face.
Yeah,
exactly.
I
mean, our Olympic team, they just look so good. And then Katie Ledecky.
Ledecky, she's from Maryland.
I know she is.
But the right
we are
wing,
so proud of her.
The right wing are just fixated on a couple of women boxers.
So, and
From
I'm just going to say,
and
this is one of those things where really, so like media failed and social media failed,
yep.
Yeah.
because basically JD Vance goes out yesterday and says it's not right that, this woman is fighting a man. And, the just for background, the boxer, that the Italian boxer was fighting a person who has a genetic testosterone, extra testosterone, basically. I mean,
But she's a female. She's
she's a
a
female.
woman.
She
She's
was
a
born female. She
cisgender
carries a
woman.
female passport. She is not and I'm not saying anything against trans people here, but I am saying that they intentionally lit this up
Yeah.
in order to go against trans people and to be
Yeah.
horrible to them,
Yeah.
and everything, and to claim that this woman was trans.
Yeah.
And because it lit that fire, people that I normally never see this kind of stuff from were posting on Facebook that, it was viral all over the place on Facebook that, women shouldn't be fighting a man. Now, the Italian boxer, to her credit, this morning apologized
Did she
for her
really?
reaction and said that she was sorry, and it was on her.
Wait,
that
the Italian boxer was
The
participating
Algerian
in
one
this?
was the one who was accused. Okay.
She accused the other woman of being a man, basically.
Oh, she began it.
Yeah, she started it. And then JD Vance. So this morning she apologized for
Good.
that and said she was sorry, that it was just that she was so disappointed in her own performance and her own reaction to being punched those 2 times, and that she lashed out and she shouldn't have, and she was really sorry about it. And so she's apologized for it, and it sounded sincere to me, and it looked sincere, and she owned it and everything. But that hasn't stopped everybody else from going crazy over it. And it just makes me like, now what they're doing is moving the bar. So now it's okay. She's not trans, but she was denied, being able to fight in the world championship. So why was she allowed in the Olympics? And it's like, why would
maybe she shouldn't have been denied the chance to fight in the world championship.
Well, that's the thing. The organization that did the testing in the world championships has been discredited.
Yeah.
So,
and what country is she from?
Algeria.
Yeah.
So I would like to propose that 2024 is the last we see of the political career of JD Vance.
Amen to that. Oh, today's his birthday. For your birthday, JD Vance, we'd like to end your political career.
Unfortunately,
I would like to end all kinds of careers of his. He shouldn't be a writer. He shouldn't be a politician. He shouldn't be in the House. He shouldn't be in the Senate. He shouldn't be anywhere near.
He shouldn't be a venture capitalist either. So there's that.
No, he should. He could. Maybe he can pump gas in Jersey or something. But that's about all. I'd be.
Some things still shock me, and one of the things that shocks me is that he can do the racist act when he's got biracial children. I don't get that. I mean, his kids are going to hate him.
I don't know how old they are, if they're very young.
They're little now, but I mean,
it's only 39, right? They're young.
Yeah. They're young kids.
That old? I thought he was older than that. Boy, he really ages a person.
He's 40 today.
Oh, he's 40.
The Harris campaign sent out a great happy birthday, JD Vance. Here's all the shitty things you've done.
I love
they're so on top of it.
That the Harris campaign has been.
Those guys are great, man.
They are so good. They've been the whole Biden Harris social media team. The communications team is so top notch.
They are.
I mean, they have been this whole 4 years. The whole. I mean, they've just been just on top of it.
Speaking of teams, did you hear that there is some new additions to the Harris team?
I'm reserving my.
I'll tell you the ones I'm excited about. Stephanie Cutter. I'm super happy about her. Super happy about Stephanie Cutter.
Okay.
She was like the comms director for Obama 2012. I'm super excited about her. She's great.
Yeah, she's great.
And she will be.
Okay, I don't know any of these names except David
Plouffe. I'm not as excited
I'm
about.
not excited about David Plouffe.
That's for two reasons. Number one, because he was one of the ones that was out, one of the bros that was out there saying, yeah, Biden should go. And then
that's what I
also
thought.
because he was doing the Kellyanne podcast,
Right.
doing a podcast with Kellyanne. So,
But that's not why he was saying that. He was saying that because he was.
no, I mean, that it
He was
just
doing the thing with Kellyanne to make money.
he doesn't thrill me. And then, but the other one, the last one does, and that's Mitch Stewart. He was the grassroots coordinator for Obama in 2008 and 2012, and he was great. He is an organizer extraordinaire. And so, while the jury's out on David Plouffe, these other two, Steph Cutter and Mitch Stewart, I'm all for.
Jennifer Palmieri is joining the Harris team.
Oh, okay. So that's great too.
And that's a Biden alum, right?
She's
a Hillary alum.
Hillary alum.
Oh, Hillary. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, and who didn't she pull somebody over from, also named Jennifer, from the Biden campaign?
Probably, but I'm not thinking of who it is right now. I mean, I think
it was right in the beginning. She announced she was going to keep her on.
Well,
that's Jen O'Malley Dillon, and
Jen
she's
O'Malley,
the campaign manager. Or the CEO of the campaign. The other one is the campaign manager. So, but
Chavez
she kept both of those.
Chavez Rodriguez is still on.
Yeah, right. And so she kept those two on, and then like Plouffe and Cutter and those guys are coming in as consultants to because, and it makes sense because they have a short runway.
Yeah.
And
they've got to launch this, right? So they don't have the benefit of 2 years of primary organizing like the rest of their
expanding the team.
So my question is, will the Obama people respect the Biden people?
Well, that's a good question. I guess we're going to find out.
Yeah. Let's hope.
Yeah.
If she's keeping the Biden people at the head of the campaign, I really want David Plouffe to
hopefully
mind his manners.
The assignment.
Say it again.
Hopefully he understands the assignment.
Exactly. And I'm a little worried about kind of anyone from the Obama campaign because it was.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think that Plouffe's role in the campaign, like now, if by the way, I heard that David Axelrod was joining, I would be throwing fits all over the place. Yeah. I'm just saying, okay. Yeah. But there's been no word, nothing like that. So, and I don't think there will be.
Okay.
But David Plouffe in the Obama campaign was the numbers guy. He was the guy that tracked and and he was good at that.
Okay.
So I'm good with him doing that part of it. He's kind of a low key kind of guy. I mean, I think the reason he was talking about Biden as much as he was on TV was because the numbers were looking so bad.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
we were in a doom loop with the numbers. And again, it goes back to our media.
Right.
Okay. Well, let's just hope everybody, will just show the
respect,
like the proper deference and the proper respect to just kind of everybody, really.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
In the interest of, saving democracy.
Well, I think that is everybody's common goal, right? Yeah. All of us who are not Trumpies, right? Yeah. Our common goal is to save democracy and also to vanquish Trump for good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like let's make this the time where we actually slay the beast. And
because you guys, even though the policy portion of Project 2025 is done, they've got their database of Trump loyalists that they will stick into the government immediately upon winning.
I mean, what does that mean? The policy. So the guy that wrote the policy book stepped down because the policy book is published.
Right.
So they don't need him anymore.
Right.
That doesn't mean
900
anything.
pages of policy.
I mean, they're trying to sell this like Trump forced him out or whatever. He didn't force him out.
You don't have to worry about Project 2025. We're done with that.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
Yeah, no, they're not done with it. They still want to implement it. I don't understand. They just got caught, and
Right.
But realize that people didn't like what they planned to do.
Right.
Yeah, but they still plan to
They're
do
not going
it.
to do it, but they are going to do it.
They're still
Right.
going to do it. It's
Well,
not.
and they point to, and this was something I hadn't even thought of, bad me, was, there was another Heritage Foundation project. It was called Project 1980.
Right.
And it was the Reagan project to change things.
Yeah.
And they got 60% of that implemented.
Right.
And so this Project 2025 builds on that, and they plan to do it faster, and they plan to do it without Congress. And Trump can run from it, but he can't hide.
Yeah.
He owns this. His vice president wrote the foreword to the book that's selling this whole bullshit thing. So yeah, I mean, there's no way that he can get away from it. And so too bad, so sad. He owns Project 2025, and when he says that he wants to run away from it, you have to remember on his website is Agenda 47, which is the
same thing.
It is the video form of Project 2025, and on his website, on the RNC website, is the Republican platform, which is the all caps bullet point version of Project 2025.
You don't have to go through 900 pages. Just go to the RNC website. You can
watch videos or look at the all caps list. That's all you need.
Someone said all you have to do, 900 pages is a lot of pages to just say 14 words.
Right.
But you have to understand the 14 words reference.
I totally, that is the total best description of it. Honestly. Yeah, totally.
And if you don't understand it, look it up.
Exactly.
All right then. Well, you guys, we've been through the whole hour.
Wow. How did that happen? Hope and joy, I guess. They
lot
mean
to
something.
talk about.
Yeah.
There is a lot to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about. So we're going to stop talking.
Next week we'll have a vice presidential nominee.
That's right.
That's right.
So join us next time on YouTube, MOMocrats.buzzsprout.com, or on your favorite podcast service such as iTunes, Google, and Amazon Music. And be sure to check our Facebook page for updates. I'm Donna Schwartz Mills with Karoli and Aliza Worthington, and we're saying goodbye for the MOMocrats. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
MOMocrats Mama Chat is part of the Demcast family of podcasts.